Hey guys, in this video I'm going to tell you how you can write essay to achieve a D star, D star, D star in your BTEC qualification. A disclaimer before I begin, guys, if you're studying, let's say A level in English, or if you're doing a degree, then probably just don't watch this video. Because guys, hey, you are more knowledgeable than me in how to structure essay, how to write essay, so therefore that just don't watch it. But if you're doing BTEC IT and you need some help on how to write a perfect essay, then keep watching it. And it's one of the second requested video, guys, so far that I've received. So yeah, why not? I thought, let me just have a go. So guys, I don't consider myself as a writer or anyone who's very capable of writing, because guys, if I tell you what I have achieved in GCSE English, then you'll laugh, guys. You'll literally laugh. Yeah, so guys, just to make it a bit more relaxed, a bit more chill, I'll tell you my GCSE English grade so that we can already have a laugh in comment down below. Okay, so I have achieved grade 4 in English, guys. I was basically, I think, 3 marks away from grade 5. Therefore, what that means is that I'm totally crap. I'm not very good in English, guys, and I have never liked English. So yeah, here I am. And guys, one thing that I've realized is that you guys feel very comfortable on asking me questions, which is very good indeed. I really like him. So I think that's because, you can see where I'm coming from, my background, what I have done in the past. So therefore, you can relate it much easily, my position. So therefore, it's much easier for you to also ask questions. Instead of professional, because professional, you don't normally know the background, you don't normally know what I have done. And also the answer that professional will give you will be like much more complicated. And therefore, one of the things that I've learned early on is that it's better to get advice from someone who's just a little bit above you, not too much, because those who are a little bit above you, they have done the same exact thing in the past. So therefore, they know it very well, because that makes so much more sense. Instead of asking, let's say, your English teacher for that, because they're gonna give you all sort of advice that you're never gonna actually need all those stuff. I'm gonna be as simple as possible, just to make things easier to understand and to apply in real life. Now, when it comes to writing and say distinction tasks or merit tasks or even past tasks in my college, what you have to be doing is you have to follow this sort of essay usual structure. So you have to have a initial bit, initial paragraph, the beginning part. You have to have a big chunk in the middle, telling story, giving points, all the stuff. And then you have to have a conclusion, which normally will go overall or in summary or in brief. So in conclusion, what you're really doing, you are just mentioning the point that you have mentioned in the middle part. So you're just sort of covering in very briefly. So let's say, for instance, a conclusion of, if you have a question, let's say why SSD is better than HDD. Then in conclusion, you'll be like, overall, SSD is much faster, it has more reading speed, more writing speed, all the stuff. As a HDD or hard disk drive is much slower because it has a sort of a disk that rotates and therefore takes longer time. So just to summarize things, that's your conclusion. Okay, now on introduction part, what you are doing, guys, this is very important, by the way, because this really helped all my friends to achieve a higher grade in their BTEC. In introduction, what you have to be doing is you have to be looking at the question, what they're asking you for. So let's say, for instance, why SSD is faster than HDD or hard disk drive. Once again, you have to be picking the key words. So why HDD is faster, SSD. So these are a few keywords that I would pick from there. And then on the introduction, you have to be exactly mentioning those words. Exactly. Couple of times is a sort of the good range. So 2 or 3 times mention SSD, mention HDD, mention faster, the word faster. So basically, you have to just take those keywords and put in an introduction bit. Because normally what's going to happen is your teacher, who's going to mark your work, obviously, they're going to look at introduction, they're going to be like, oh, okay, so this guy has really understood what he's talking about. So therefore, that's what you have to be doing in all of your past tasks, merit and distinction. Take the question and mention on your on the introduction bit. Okay, now on the middle part, middle chunk, what you have to be doing is you have to give a point and then explain it. So let's just go back to our question. Why SSD is faster than HDD? So a point, for instance, can be, price. So you can say, for instance, SSD is expensive than HDD because for the longevity, all the stuff. And then you'll be like, therefore, in my opinion, buying SSD is much more effective and for the longevity, because it will last longer than SSD. It will not, the disk will not break because there is not a physical thing moving inside. You just give your point. So always when you give a point, start with therefore, additionally, in my opinion, for example. So these are sort of the word that you have to be adding. So first of all, you have to giving a fact and then give an example. Therefore, for example, so that's sort of the structure. Yeah. So beginning, you start with the keywords, talk about the keyword that you can see on the question, mention it. In the middle part, just give all of the point and then give example. So point, example, and explanation. Point, example, explanation. This is sort of the structure that you have to be following. So give a point, back up with an example, and then explain it, build it further, your sort of explanation. 2 point, 3 point, 4 point, depending on the task itself. So if it's a distinction, ideally you should give about, 6, 7 point, in my opinion. Also, there are a few things to consider as well, depending on your teacher, because guys, if you're doing BTEC, then you have to know your teacher very well. That's one of the key points that I can give you. So if you just want advice that I want you to get out of this video, guys, is understand your teacher very, very well. So understand what they like, whether they like essay type of work, so very with high sort of sophisticated language with all those keywords and all those fancy words, or if is your teacher someone who like just the bare essential, the minimum, just covering sort of the key point and that's it. Because it depends, guys. Because if they want some sort of keywords or just covering the basic, then you have to be, of course, mentioning the keywords over and over again throughout your work. And if they want all those fancy work with all those subject terminology, keywords, and all those stuff, now keywords are sophisticated work, really, then you have to be, overcomplicating his stuff. So therefore, you have to be knowing your teacher very, very well, whether they want a simple one or something overcomplicated. Every single essay, every single work, you have to have an introduction, middle paragraph, middle sort of paragraphs, plural, and then a conclusion. So like overall, SSD is faster than HDD, is a bit more expensive than HDD, but the longevity is much more, and also SSD tend to break less compared to HDD, so they're more reliable. All those points, and just to summarize what have I written on. Yeah, therefore overall this is the structure that I used to follow in the past for my first year. Not necessarily first year, because I learned this sort of structure later on. I didn't know when I was doing my BTEC. So I think it should be sometime at the end of my first year college. That's when I learned, in all of my tasks I was following this sort of structure, but I never realized it. So later on I realized it, and whenever I told my friend, they also started applying it. And yeah, so they also got similar grades as me. So yeah, therefore just try to see if that works with the teacher as well. And that's all for this video, guys. I hope you found it interesting. If you did, leave a thumbs up, comment down below. If you have any question, feel free to email me, guys, by the way, because guys, most of the questions that I get is through email. So whatever is your question, make sure to email me, because guys, I can promise you that I read all the emails, guys. Feel free to email me anytime, and I'll be more than happy to help you. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.